Hello everyone, this is Marco and welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to show you this thing right here. It is probably one of the best sets that Mattel has ever released, and I am so happy to be able to review it for you guys. It is indeed the Tyrannosaurus Rex Escape Pack, which is part of the Legacy Collection line by Mattel. I must say, I absolutely adore what I'm seeing. This box is windowed, just like the original toys by Kenner, and I love that aesthetic that it's got. It is kind of like a dark blue, and the background mimics what we see in the original film during the classic T-Rex breakout scene. This set comes with a T-Rex, the extreme chomping T-Rex that Mattel has released quite a few times already, but a nice repaint, I must say, with more faithful colours to what we see in the film. It comes with a tiny figure of Tim Murphy from the film with his night vision goggles, and most importantly, in my opinion, this set comes with the Ford Explorer. In the past, we have only seen this vehicle once with the original Jurassic Park Kenner line, and most recently as a tiny little Matchbox toy. This is definitely a fan favorite vehicle, and I am so happy that Mattel has finally released this. I don't think I will talk much in this video because I think the footage kind of speaks for itself. One thing that kind of strikes me is that really photoshopped T-Rex toy on the back. I mean, it's fine because Mattel does put photoshopped pictures on the back of the boxes, but you know, we've had this T-Rex released quite a few times, although with slightly different paint jobs, but it's close enough for them to be on the back of the box. I mean, this one on the back of the box doesn't really look too much like the one in the set, so they could have just used an actual picture of the toy itself, but I'm not too fussed about that. What we have in this set really does make up for that. It's barely a problem at all. On the bottom we can see a lot of legal writing and stuff, including an officially licensed kind of seal from Ford themselves, and instructions on how to assemble the T-Rex. Now let's open the box. So the box comes apart quite nicely. It's not invasive at all the way that you open it, there's no way of damaging the box that much. And on the bottom there's these classic sort of screw things that you turn and it releases the toys. We usually see these on the bigger figures like the T-Rex releases from the past, and you know, the Spinosaurus and all of that. So that's easy enough, but we've also got these ribbons on the back which you can just pop out or cut if you want. It's designed in such a way that the box doesn't get too damaged, which is perfect for collectors. These ties hold the T-Rex in place, including the tail. Now the vehicle is just firmly screwed on at the bottom with those screwy things that we unscrewed earlier. So it's all really easy to take apart. With one exception though, and we'll have a look at it in just a second. And this is what I was talking about. Tim and the goggles are firmly encased into that piece of vac formed plastic, and the only way you can get it out is just by cutting it, and unfortunately that does ruin the box, which is a downside for collectors. Personally, I'm not fussed about that because I always chuck the boxes out anyway. But now we've got everything out, let's have a look at everything individually in detail. So there's not really that much to say about the T-Rex. It is the exact same model, exact same toy as the extreme chomping T-Rexes that we've seen in the past, except for the paint job. The paint job is slightly different. There's no belly color, and the bottom jaw isn't a different color either. It just makes everything look a bit more natural in my opinion. In terms of action features, there is a button at the back of the neck that you press and the jaws open really wide, hence the name. My Rex has a little bit of sloppiness in terms of paint right there by the teeth, and for some reason Mattel decided to paint a tooth on the nose. And then you've got your classic neck articulation and limbs articulation as well, including the tail. Now, one thing I noticed is that the plastic used in the joints is different from the other versions that they released. The other ones have white plastic and this one has brown plastic. It also feels like a completely different type of plastic. And I've always had sort of problems with my other extreme chomping T-Rexes and figures because they would squeak a lot when moving the joint. But this, as it's a different type of plastic, maybe doesn't squeak as much. And I've had it for a couple of days open now, and yeah, it's not squeaking, so fingers crossed. Also, the joints in general feel a little bit stiffer, which is a nice change. With my most recent T-Rex, the extreme damage one, and the Spinosaurus, and pretty much every other extreme chomping figure, the tails are always loose. They kind of flop down by themselves, but it seems like they fixed that problem with this one, which is a great plus. Sculpt wise, you can tell that this is one of the earlier Mattel sculpts because detail wise, the detail's quite soft. There isn't much finer detail that Mattel has been putting into their most recent sculpts. One of the areas that I noticed that more in particular is the ankles and a little bit on the feet and just on the back usually. They actually used this exact same sculpt for the Super Colossal T-Rex, and if you compare that to the newest release of the Super Colossal line, which is the Carnotaurus, yeah, there is a massive difference. The Carnotaurus has got so much more detail, and it's delicious. It's so gorgeous to look at. Talking about gorgeous, let's have a look at the Ford Explorer. This has got to be one of the best vehicles that Mattel has released. Probably in first place, there's the original Legacy Collection Jeep Wrangler, which doesn't have any paint apps missing at all. They went all out on that, including the prints on the tires and all of that stuff. But this one is beautiful. It's got a lovely yellow to green gradient with lovely red patterns on as well. It's also got an action feature that we'll have a look at very soon. It's got very, very crisp decals or stickers on with the original Jurassic Park logo, and it overall looks pretty faithful to the actual vehicle seen in the film, except for maybe a couple of paint apps here and there, but that's okay because this is a toy at the end of the day. It's nothing like that latest Dennis Nedry getaway pack where the Jeep Wrangler is missing tons of paint apps. I have recently repainted one and I might do a video on it at some point soon, and I just didn't realize how many things that Mattel has cut corners on. It's insane. But anyway, going back to this Ford Explorer, it's got openable and closable doors, which is so nice. But that is probably due to the action feature that this vehicle has, which is that collapsible roof. Like that. Yeah, isn't that cool? It sort of replicates what we see in the film. But yeah, I can see Mattel skimping out on the opening and closing doors if the roof was actually removable. So this is great. But yeah, it's great to see that they've incorporated that action feature in the toy, which I find quite funny because the glass in the roof of that vehicle in that scene wasn't supposed to break. The screams that you can hear in the film from the kids, they're real. As you can see, there is some space on the back, so you can actually put some accessories from your figures in the back of the car, which is great. And there is enough room for all of the figures. I have tested it out, and you can see that at the end of the video too. But now, I think we should move on to Tim. Tim is a great little figure. It is in the same scale as all the other human figures by Mattel, which is in the same scale as every other toy in this line in particular. So, looking at the articulation, we've got the classic arm joints and the head joint. There are no elbow joints due to the size of this figure. If they put elbow joints in this, I would expect this to break quite quickly. There is no waist articulation. You can see all the articulation that you would expect from all the other figures in this line on the leg. They could have not put any articulation in the legs due to the size of this figure, but it is so good that they actually did put articulation in the knees, because you want him to sit down in the car, and it would look really weird if he was like stiff, kind of standing up inside the car. I must commend Mattel on the attention to detail on this figure. Look at that. Look at the paint apps. The eyes are spot on. The whole likeness of Tim is on point. And he's also got little rosy cheeks, which is adorable. As my friend Andy's Dinosaur Reviews would say, this is picture perfect. Let's have a look at his accessories. The night vision goggles, which is such a good idea to put in this pack. Honestly, it's so nice of Mattel to actually release a set like this, because how many years have passed since the original Jurassic Park? And we're getting decent toys still, like in 2021. This is insane. I am eternally grateful to them doing this. Having said that though, I really do not appreciate how they cut corners sometimes. All the corners that they could cut on this set, they did very well. It was very smart. Like, they used the same T-Rex as the other ones they released, so that makes things a lot cheaper for them. Because of that, they've been able to put more effort and spend more money on creating the Ford Explorer and Tim. So would I recommend this set? No. No, I'm just joking. Yes, of course, this is a must for every Jurassic Park fan, and I think you should go and get it right now. If you see it in a shop, get it. Do it.
If you like my videos, please press the like button. And you could consider subscribing. It's free. Oh, and don't forget to press the notification bell button, because you don't want to miss any of my new stuff, right? I'm gonna say bye now, because when you gotta go, you gotta go. I will see you in the next one.